Hello, parceritos y parceritas. Welcome to another episode of Classic Diez Podcast. Today, we have a very nice guest, one of the most iconic guys in this world of the shirts. With us is 365 football shirts. How you going, mate?
I'm good. Thanks for the very kind introduction. It's a pleasure, being here with you. So yeah, it's my honor to be here with you and share everything I have and I know about football shirts.
Oh, very nice that you come to the podcast to have a chat. Now you are in the other side of the world. Where are you?
I am.
Where are you right now at this moment?
Yeah, I am indeed. I got here 2 days ago, and I'm in Mexico and Cancun.
Ooh.
So I know, as you can see, the fan is just that thing. It's very hot, so if I'm sweating a bit, you know why.
Yeah,
I left cold Europe and I'm now in sunny Cancun.
Cancun, beautiful place, one of the most beautiful beaches in the Central America. Awesome that you'll be there, traveling always with your football shirts. So hope.
Yeah. I'm not like wearing a different football shirts every single day anymore. So I do have some football shirts with me, not like one for every single day. Also because I'm planning to buy more football shirts here because every team here has got like a shop, and football shirts and Mexican football shirts are very, very cool. Like colors, the patterns, the badges as well are so interesting. I do not have enough space in my bag, but somehow I'm just gonna buy football shirts, I think.
Yeah, but that's very nice as well, because one of the most interesting things about your profile as a collector is the project behind, which is the 365 football shirts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So nice.
Yeah, that's about it. Yes, I'm a collector. I mean, we all are like collectors. I do wear my football shirts in daily life. So that's what I do. And that crazy project, let's say, yes, it was an achievement, let's say, a life achievement. A different football shirts every day for a year. Yes, because also I want to just show or prove that football shirts are also shirts. So a piece of clothing that could be worn everywhere, I think. They're colorful. I mean, look at your beautiful background. You've got white, reds, green. So I think they could cover everything. I don't want them to be discriminated a little bit. Just think, oh, he's wearing a football shirt, he's too casual or anything. And they've got history, they've got everything, they've got symbols that represent countries, different people, different, I don't know, groups, different backgrounds, different everything. So they're full of history as well, related to a city, to a country, to a neighborhood, and so on.
That's awesome. Totally into all the projects that you did. Just recently you finished with the entire year with the football shirts, and yeah, for me it was very curious when I met you, because it's very difficult to wear it every single day, and mostly when you're traveling as well, because it's a lot of weight to carry on, but super agree with you. Like every single jersey represent a specific place, but also if you find one with a different budget, you already have okay, this means that they play in this thing, and if you are collecting from the 90s, from the 80s, you're talking about past stories that happened before, and they mark a nationality or the story of the football in general. So
of course,
very, very nice. Very happy that you done it. And now, which is gonna be your next project?
That's a very good question. That is a very good question. I'm definitely going to travel around with my football shirts. Also, I did link the two things, so the shirts and the travel part. So I think I want to do that and just literally going around the world as much as I can with football shirts and take them like everywhere, be seen in different places and everything, and keep collecting, like going around in different areas and buying local football shirts and so on, you know.
Awesome. Mexico
But
is
I do
already,
not have like a proper like fixed like project. I'm still thinking about it. So
yeah.
if you do have any suggestion or anything, please go ahead and tell me.
Like now you can do like 2 years in a row consecutively.
That's really tough. I've heard that before, and that's tough. That's
Can you
tough.
imagine?
Okay. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, you need
Well,
a lot of space. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Well, if you wanna, let's start just talking about yourself. Present yourself. What is your name? Where you come from?
Yeah.
How old are
So
you?
my real name is Antonio. I am 36. Yeah, just turned 36 in November. You can tell from my new wrinkles. Here we go, fresh wrinkles. Yeah, so I lived in several places around the world. I was born in Italy. Okay, so let's just clarify that. So I'm Italian. I lived for many years in the UK, and then for about 5 years, I was in China and Vietnam. So I spent 5 years in Asia, mainly in China and Vietnam. And again, that was very interesting because you can compare like how football is seen by locals in different places, the atmosphere at the stadium and so on. And yeah, so last year I just spent the whole like time traveling around, been to about 22 countries wearing different football shirts, and now yeah, so I'm now over like 30 countries because I did go to a couple of other countries afterwards, and now I'm in Mexico. I'm planning to go to like other places in Central America. As you can probably tell, I'm not really working at the moment. I could just lie and sound posh and say I'm like an entrepreneur, like in the real estate market, but I don't want to be pretentious, so I'm just going to say I'm lucky enough to have money to travel. Let's just put it this way. I don't want to just deceive or be pretentious about something. So, of course, I'm passionate about football and about football shirts in general. You know.
Yeah. And do you have like any favorite club?
Of course, yeah. So in Italy, I support Inter Milan. In England, I support Portsmouth. Yeah, I know.
Very interesting.
I know. That's what I spent most of actually the whole time in England. I was in Portsmouth, and also in China. I had a team because I was a season ticket holder in Guangzhou. So Guangzhou Evergrande or Henda. Where you know the probably one of the most famous like club in China. So yes, so Inter because it's the team of my city. I was born in Milan. Even though I don't really like big teams, unfortunately I cannot change it. Somehow I picked like all my family was supporting Milan, so AC. But I don't know why.
Like it.
I just picked Inter. I don't know. Sometimes you just cannot explain it. Portsmouth was an easy choice because of I spent all my years in England over there, and the passions that the fans have there is just incredible. They definitely deserve a better team at the moment because now they're in League One, so the third tier in English football. But like 15 years ago, they were a very good and dominant team. If you think about like England, like the national team back in the days, they had David James,
Peter
Crouch, Glenn Johnson, Sol Campbell. All of these,
they were playing in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
I remember that they were very close to one like a FA Cup or
they did
like that.
Win the FA Cup.
They did.
Yeah, they did in 2008, and they also lost in the final in 2009. 9 or 10. I can't remember exactly.
That's the one that I remember that they lost. They were very close that year, and they were always like 8, 10 in Premier League, which is a very good position in that very tough
very
competition.
solid. Like playing in Portsmouth was not an easy game for any team really. Unfortunately,
the
money, and every year they had to sell like all the players every year. Like imagine every year like 10 players will just go. Of course it's tough. So these are my teams. Of course. Didn't mention, I did start saying like that in China I was supporting Guangzhou, and that they're also incredible, the atmosphere at the stadium. You will probably not think so much about Chinese fans, but at the stadium, incredible. Do you have like the ultras, let's say, los hinchas, in China, they're crazy, just sing all like for 90 minutes non-stop, jumping and everything. It's great. And also at that time they had a lot of money in China, so I managed to see
very good
Paulinho,
Jackson Martinez,
Talisca, Jackson Martinez. Even though in China
Oscar,
he was in Shanghai, but you had every single team when I was in China that had incredible players, because they were only allowed to have 3 foreigners. And every single team that had incredible, like Tevez was there. Everything that great players that could play for any like team in Europe.
It was a lot of money moving from the Chinese market to the soccer, and they bring a lot of like the top players, not the top players, but they were like all enough, come here, earn the money that you want, and then you can just like retire. And many of them accept. Like for example, I remember this moving from Atletico Madrid, from Jackson Martinez to Evergrande. It was crazy because he was still like young enough to continue playing in Atletico Madrid, and he was in the big club. Oscar as well in Chelsea, and he moved just to Shanghai.
And I've got shirts here actually. I swear I did not plan it. But
that's
imagine I took it like to Mexico.
Guarin, obviously he's a Colombian player.
He was playing for Shanghai as well.
He moves from Inter.
Team as Tevez.
He was in Inter, and then he moved to that. I think China was trying to like take all these players to improve like with the young Chinese players up and level up with Japan, with Korea, which in Asia was like always leading the federation, the Asian Federation, and now Australia, which is in the Asian Federation as well. Here as well, it's not expected as like you think like Australian soccer, whatever, but here is a lot of Serbian, Croatian, Italian backgrounds, so you can imagine that in the stadium the ultra vibes, it's very similar than Europe. So going to the stadium is very cool, not for the soccer, it's more for the fans. The fans make all this like fire behind, so it's very cool. Well, now you told me about your favorite clubs. Now can you tell me which was your idol when you were a little, like which was this player that marked your life?
So as an Inter fan in the 90s, also as a football fan in the 90s, like you cannot just have one idol, Ronaldo. Ronaldo, like Nazario. The real one. Let's leave the other one there, and his beautiful, look and everything. I'm talking about the real one. That was the idol. But also, like as I said, like I never really liked big teams. So, and I was kind of obsessed with South American football. So I remember Pizarro, Farfan, being one of my Pizarro, the Peruvian guy.
Pizarro, both,
and Farfan as well, and also like watching just South American teams. When those players were like, let's say, not big stars already playing in Europe, when they were playing, in South America. So you kind of, and you watch them playing. Like I remember Farfan playing for Alianza Lima, Copa Libertadores, and kind of like I was like, and then he, went to Europe. I was like, I like that player and everything. So also like, Pizarro was definitely one of my idol when I was like a teenager, let's say. But Ronaldo as a
The
kid.
main one, yeah.
Yeah. The one. I don't think I need to clarify which one. I was like, when I say Ronaldo, it's Ronaldo.
Yeah, of course.
The other one needs the prefix, needs the Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, to make sure that is him. Claudio Pizarro, excellent Peruvian player. He was one of the most iconic players for Werder Bremen as well. He was playing there for ages, then he moves to Bayern Munich and then finished his career in Werder Bremen as well. Guerrero, Farfan, all these Peruvians that came, it was just strikers, all of them, and they moved to the Bundesliga, and it was like an amazing development for like the Peruvian national team, which was like very tough to play against them because it was always the three of them playing in the same team. Wow, crazy those years in the 90s and the early 2000s. Well, and which is the player that you say, this player right now could be my idol, like that they still playing?
Really, at the moment, I don't know. I mean, today, after watching Croatia, I don't know. I think Modric, even though he's already like an idol and everything, but the way he plays and how humble he is as well. You know, I don't know. He's got to be everybody's like idol if you like football, regardless of the team he plays for, regardless of the 5 Champions Leagues that he's won or whatever. The way he leads as well, like the team, not in a very, let's say, visual way. You don't see him like shouting or that, but you can see that he's a leader. You can see that everybody respects him, like in his team and everything. So I don't really have an idol right now, but those players, those iconic players, those legends, basically. Unfortunately, he's 37 now, 38.
Yeah, so it's very close to the finish, but still like, well, look, I've been talking with another collectors from different parts of the world, and I was talking with one from Spain, and he said like, well, he has 37, but you need to see him running because he looks like at 17. And it's true, like he's in a very tough position all the time, like the midfielders has to run all the time, and he's like, even though that is not a box to box, he runs a lot and like always with the same intensity. So yeah, Luka Modric for me as well, one of the top players in the world, one quality player in every single team that he has been there. So good choice.
And
also a very good choice.
Thank you.
Well, you have like this love for Inter Milan, and well, last year was AC Milan the champion of the Serie A. Which do you think is gonna be the next champion?
I don't know. I hope for Naples or Atalanta, but I really hope Napoli will win it. Like they haven't won it in years, and really like, yes, I'm happy if Inter wins it, but I want something else. I want something different, something fresh. Juventus, Inter Milan, okay, fair enough, but every year I want something else, something different. And at the moment, so far, they played the best football in Italy. They play fantastic football in Europe. They have very good players. And at the moment, if you ask me right now, do they deserve to be to be the champions? Yes, they do. Absolutely. So I hope they can win it.
And it's very surprised because they just let go a couple of players that it was like they actually the most important and value players of the team, like Mertens, that they were like actually the top players in the team, and they let it go, and now Kvaratskhelia from nothing appear and is like a fucking magic player, So I really hope as well that Napoli wins, just to see like this south of Italy again back and have like another team that is going to be very competitive, not just in Italy, in Europe in general. It's going to be very good. Hopefully, finger crossed. They have already like a lot of points.
But you never know. You never know in football. You never know. Very
tough. And what do you think like Portsmouth need now to start to get promoted and
Money,
go to
money, 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 dinero, dinero, dinero. Yeah, yeah, of course, money will help. They need a bit of stability and consistency. Like I think they reached like the playoffs many times over the last like 10 years. Every time they get to the playoffs and they lose.
Yeah,
Or
fucking
sometimes
sad.
they go like top of the league. They always there, top of the league, top of the league, top of the league. And then at some point they start to decline and go down and they miss out. So yeah, consistency and also a bit of luck, because I think the city really deserves a good team. Every time it's almost like a sellout to watch League One football, and it's not cheap to watch football in England. So even though it's like League One, so not really like the Premier League,
or...
no. And the passion, everything that they put, and they just love it. So I really think they a bit of luck, yeah, but a bit of consistency, and hopefully they get to the playoffs this year and they can make it.
Yeah, and like look at some examples like Nottingham Forest, that they were in the third division and now they are in the Premier League, and it's like a historic team as well. Or Sunderland that is now in the second division. So I think like it's just a little bit, as you say, like a little bit of consistency, keep the same project, just make it stronger every year, and you will do it.
Yeah.
And what about the Champions League? Which is your favorite for this year?
I hope, again, small teams. I'll go for Club Bruges, the Belgian team. I hope they can. But also like, also Man City. They're not a small team, I know, but they've never won it. They've never won it. And last year, the way they went, like the way they lost to Real Madrid.
Yeah, it was so sad.
It was. I mean, that's something that you will not be able to sleep for like a week after that. So if I had to like pick a big team, I would probably go for Man City. See, I'm not even saying Inter because we've got no chance to win it. It's not even an option,
Not this year. Well,
yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about your collection now. So,
yes.
how many jerseys do you have in your collection?
Got about 450, 500-ish. Yeah.
So now you're the first top one in the podcast. You're the guy
really?
who has, you're the guy who has more jerseys in the podcast.
I should have just slides. And can we just do it again and say
800?
No. Let's go big. I would just say 2,500 or something like that. No, yeah, it's about 450 to 500. I don't really know.
Yeah, previously was one guy that he has 400-ish as well, but he said that he doesn't count any jersey of like training or jacket or like extra indumentary. Like he just count soccer jerseys.
Same as me. Like I've got like maybe 5 or 6 like training or sweatshirts or something like that. It's only like shirts like match.
So he said like come away third, fourth or whatever special edition, but it has to be soccer jersey. Like it doesn't count like a training soccer jersey. Which is like a mini collection as well for him and for many as well. Like I do as well. Like have like a mini collection in my collection that is just like training jerseys, jackets, etc. But it's not in the soccer jersey collection. What do you prefer, retro jerseys or modern jerseys?
All of them. Like
doesn't matter. Give it.
No. I take like I was gonna make. I'm gonna make it. It's fine. It's like women. Doesn't really matter. Retro, modern. It's they can all be good.
Oh, that's very good.
No. It's apart from the joke, like yes, I think retro ones, they've got something. They've got charm. They've got something special that makes you think, oh, this is also historical,
Yeah. That's the most important, I think.
We're talking about something about that's 20 or 30 or 40 years like old. It's incredible. Look wise, again, normally the old ones, the retro ones, are a bit baggy. They've got long sleeves and everything.
Yeah.
So if we consider shirts just as football shirts, as shirts, so a piece of clothing, the modern, let's say the current ones, are a bit more fitted, nicer, and so on.
Comfy,
But the old ones, they've got I
many
don't know,
details.
history with them and
Yeah.
everything. Also, less sponsors,
Yeah.
less things. It's just about football. The
Yeah, and it
badge,
was very
that's it.
like like every country has like a very on very club, and each club as well has like very personalized things as well. Like nowadays it's a lot of templates, and the templates just like it's the same shirt, just
That's
different
very
colors
true.
and the
That's
things.
very true. It's
Before, if you see like the 2000s, the 90s of some clubs, it's just you see the club in the jersey, and you're like, oh yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. Also the brands now,
Yeah.
Nike, Adidas. Yeah, it's just a template. So you've got that, copy and paste, and you just swap the badge, change the color, and here's your
Done.
shirt.
Yeah. And I don't know if you have realized, but for example, like I'm born in Colombia, and in Colombia it was very common that brands as Nike or Adidas, they use like this season with the top. They develop like a new technology for the big clubs, like let's say the Real Madrid, Barcelona, whatever. And after that, next season or next season, that technology arrived to Colombia, to Asia, etc. Because they just don't. They still having a lot of like the material, but they don't want to waste it. So they give it to smaller clubs that they still in the sponsorship. So they just like give it the thing, the template, the old templates to another clubs like in Colombia and Mexico, etc. Which is very sad as well, because you should not be doing this, you should just like personalize for each club anyway. But yeah. Well, so let's say that the retro is better.
Okay, yeah, I can go. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Okay.
And do you prefer the jerseys with name sets or without?
Again, a name will. It's just it adds something extra to a shirt. It's more like iconic. You got that player on the back of that shirt. It represents something. It's a statement. It's like, here we go. Again, from a very I don't know, from another perspective, having a number on the back of your shirt, after 10 years, 20 years, or whatever, it will get damaged.
Yeah.
Or it might risk to damage your shirt because they get sticky, they peel off, and so on. So you need to be very, very careful. I've had some bad experiences. But in general, let's say I would prefer it with a number, especially when it's a player that, I don't know, represents something is so meaningful. I love like shirts with to buy like shirts of players before they like big players before they move to a big team. Like for example, I don't know, let's talk about Colombian players. Falcao, like Radamel Falcao, when he was playing for River Plate, before he moved to Europe. Those kind of like
the Modric when he was playing in Dinamo, for example, before to go to
or even was Modric was actually playing in a city in Bosnia. He played for one season, in a city in Bosnia, because Bosnia's got some areas where you have Croatian communities, and he played for one season in a small team in Bosnia, not even like a big team, in Mostar, in a city in Mostar. Was a famous bridge in and they still have like a graffiti of Modric being really young. Of course, is a legend.
It's very nice to have that jerseys, because it's like, I guess you wear that, like it's that moment before he like explode and be like the huge player that he is now. Awesome, very, very nice. Well, and which is the like club that has more jerseys in your collection?
I don't think I've got, because I normally get a different shirt for each club. I do have a couple of clubs with more like shirts, like
Hmm.
Portsmouth. I've got
Hmm.
3. Inter, I've got a couple, but I don't think I've got like a club with, I don't know, 5 shirts or 10 shirts.
No.
No, 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 no. Yeah, I go for like for the quantity, like different clubs,
And
more shirts.
countries neither, like I don't know, Italy. Do you have more from Italy than England, or
No,
pretty much like
no.
all
I
of
think
them
I've got
very
more like
average?
English ones. No, no, no. Italy, I've got 2. Yeah,
Oh,
I think I've got.
awesome.
Yeah, also, yeah, yeah,
So you would
yeah.
say like probably Portsmouth is the one that has more, that is like 3. That's it.
I'm actually not sure. I've also got like 3 of like Universitario,
Oh,
the
the
Peru de
Peru.
Lima.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because I had Peruvian friends at school, and
Okay.
every year I was asking them, "Can you give me a shirt? Can you give me a shirt?" So they gave me loads of shirts, and
Uh-huh.
I've now got loads of
This,
Universitario.
oh, that's very nice story. That's very good
Yeah.
anecdote. Okay, Antonio, and tell me,
Yes.
which was your first shirt?
My first shirt, I remember it very, very well. It was a Parma shirt.
Ooh,
Yeah, 1997.
the good GS,
So, sorry?
the good GS of Parma.
Yeah. Those kind of years. That Parma, yes. And I got a Crespo, El
Ooh,
Baldanito.
yeah, of
Yes,
course,
because I
good
told
player.
you I was like obsessed with South American football, and that was Crespo's like first year in Italy. And yes, he was supposed to be good. He was promising and everything, but I knew it was gonna be good because I remember watching him in Copa Libertadores.
Yeah, River.
Yes, and when they won the final, and Copa Libertadores, you had 2
Against,
games basically. Yes,
it was
and
against one Colombian team. It was
yes,
against America. Yeah,
exactly. I was gonna say that. Yeah, America de Bogota, de
Cali,
Bogota,
Cali, the Cali.
oh, de Cali, and yes, he scored 2 goals in the final, and River won Copa Libertadores, and he was a young player,
Yeah,
scoring 2 goals in a final, and Parma signed basically the most promising South American player at that time.
yeah.
So it was incredible. So that was my first shirt. It was a great shirt as well, beautiful. Like it was so different from all the others. You have all this kind of like the pattern here on
Yeah,
the sleeves.
amazing. Mhm.
Yeah. It's
It
very
was
nice.
with
So
Champion. It was the manufacturer, right?
no, it was Puma.
Still Puma. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Champions came a couple of years after that.
After.
Also, Champions very bizarre, strange,
Yeah.
unusual, let's say, brands for football.
Full soccer. Yeah.
Yes, a couple of years after that, Champions arrived. Yeah.
Yeah, and Crespo, I remember that he came to Parma and straight away he was like poof, tough player and
Yeah.
just break everything. And then he moved to I think Lazio. He was first, but he finished playing in pretty much Lazio, Inter. He was playing in Milan as well. So
Yes, he
he played
was. He
movies
was.
in a lot of clubs in Italy.
Oh yes,
Yeah, of
yes,
course.
and he
In
was
in
good.
in Milan, he
Yeah,
finished playing in the final against Liverpool.
yeah. That
He scored
final,
goals
that
there.
final,
Hmm.
that final that we do not want to mention in case anyone from
The
Milan
podcast is listening. Yeah,
is. Yeah. But it's again, they won it like 2 years after that, so
yeah.
it's all good.
Revenge.
Yeah.
That's done. Which one is like the favorite shirt in your collection?
Favorites again. I think it really depends. What do you mean by favorites? By the look of it, if visually it looks good. Um, by I don't know if it fits well or if it's meaningful, if it means something special, if someone gave it to you, if it was a present or something. Like your first shirt, of course, is gonna be like one of your favorites
Meaningful.
because it's
Yeah.
your first one and started. So I really don't know. I've got I think to me it's all about the meaning that the shirts just scary. So I've got a couple of like presents, got a couple of something that is very meaningful. Like I've got one from China, for example. That's like a nice like story. When I was in China, I had students, and he was 6, okay, and he could speak a bit of Spanish. He could count in Spanish. So it was very strange. Like, why do you speak Spanish? It's not unusual language for Chinese kids to learn. And he was always wearing Espanol, like shirts. Again, very strange. Like normally they have many Real Madrid. Like, why Espanol? So I asked some of like the Chinese teachers, like, why does these kids go like Espanol shirts and everything? Oh, his father works in Spain. Okay, fair enough. Then they told me, oh, his father has a company in Spain. Oh, okay. Then they told me eventually that his father was actually one of the owners of Espanol. So with my terrible Chinese, I walk to that kid and say, sorry, can you ask your father to give me a shirt for me? And he said, yeah, of course. But I thought like, come on, he's 6, he's never going to give it to me. After 3 or 4 days, he came to me with a bag, and he had decided like a shirt of Espanol signed by a Chinese player, because at that time Espanol had Wule, and it was signed by him. And I went to a Chinese girl and I said, sorry, can you tell me what's written in here? Because of course with signature it's impossible to recognize the characters. And he said like, it says Wule, who gave it to you? I was like, okay, that's all I needed. That's so the one. Yeah, that's it's it's
very funny anecdote.
Yeah,
very nice gift as well.
Very nice, of course. Yeah.
So that's probably your like the shirt that was given to you, the most iconic shirt that you have in your collection as a gift, or do you have another one?
Like also like because of my my story was published like in the Sun and also other newspapers, and in Greece. And I'm again saying thank you to Gazeta. It's a Greek newspaper. When they like basically wrote another article about my story. When I went to Cyprus, I went to Pathos. Pathos is a team in Cyprus. And I told them, I actually went to the shop and I said, how much is the shirt? And they said like 50 euros. And I said, nah, too much. Thank you. Then I started talking to them because I was wearing a Congo shirt and they wanted to sign a Congo player, Bolasi. And they started talking to me. So I said, oh, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm traveling here with, football shirts. And when they read the article that was written in Greek, of course, they just said, okay, we'll give you one shirt. I was like, oh, that's very nice,
So it was a gift again. Yeah, that's
cool.
Yeah.
Loads of like gifts like this. It's always nice. It's always nice. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna start to tell my story as well to try to have more gifts.
You never know. You never know if you don't ask. If you don't share, you never know. You never know.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your numbers as well. Which is like the most expensive shirt that you have in your collection?
Oh, I'm very, very tight when it's about. Well, actually, when with everything, I'm quite tight. I don't know. So probably the biggest amount that I paid for a shirt, I don't know, a normal classic 70, 80 euros back in the days. I think that I do have shirts that are worth like more.
Yeah.
But I do not spend a lot of money for shirts. Okay. Definitely not. It's something that I don't do. Yeah, no.
So you will say like 80 is the top that you have right now.
Yes.
Soccer.
Yeah. Maybe, let's say 100. Let's
let's put the other zero.
Yeah. Let's
put one extra zero there.
Like, 100.
And which is the cheapest one that you have in your collection that you spent?
Cheapest, well, apart from the ones that I
like no given,
my friends, was still cheap.
Yeah.
So cheap in Vietnam. When I was living in Vietnam, you had not even secondhand shops. There are literally people selling clothes for poor people on the streets. Yeah. And once I was like on my motorbike, and sometimes they get very weird shirts. And I just stopped once and I saw one Japanese shirt, and I could see it was legit. It was official and everything. So I asked how much he wants, and he was 15,000 dong. 15,000 dong is about 50 cents. So yeah, I think I gave him 20. I think I gave him 20,000 though. Like I was like, yeah, because I only had 40,000
to put the zero as well, to just like
I was like, yeah, you earned it. You know what I mean? I'm not so tight. Take the tip. Yeah,
that's very cool. Imagine like for a J League team, you pay 20 cents. Crazy. Nowadays,
it was
$100 for one of them.
Yeah, it was in perfect conditions, and it was great. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Which is this jersey that you try to be like looking for it, but you can't find yet? Do you have any?
I don't think I do. I did try to find some shirt like in the past. Like I said, I travel a lot in my life, and every time I go to a different place, I try to find a shirt. But it needs to be easy to find, of course. I mean, it needs to be available, let's say, and cheap, or let's say my price. Too expensive, I don't really care. Yeah. So when I was in Armenia, I actually went to the local F.A. Like that. Yeah, I knock on the door because I could not find a football shirt. In Armenia, if anyone from Armenia can tell me where you can find the official, because you can find a lot of fake ones with Mkhitaryan on the back.
Yeah, but not original.
But the official one, I'm talking about 5 years ago, impossible. No shop in Yerevan they have it. So I went to the FA, and they opened the door for me, and I simply asked them. They thought I was probably crazy, and I asked them, "Sorry, where can I find your football shirts?" And they literally told me, "We do not sell them here in Armenia. We do not sell them. Like in a shop, you cannot buy them." I'm like, okay, nice. So
thank you.
Yeah. Okay, bye. Yeah, that's it. That was the story of me trying to get like an Armenia shirt. Yeah.
Oh, very weird. And did they tell you what?
No, they just said they don't. But in some countries, they also with the Macedonia shirts I tried to get. You can find it online, and even like the Macedonian national like football association and everything, they have a website and everything. But local shops, I couldn't really find. No, not really. And I've emailed even the manufacturer, Jacko.
Yeah.
And they told me we just get them, we make them, and we just ship them straight to the national team. That's it.
What?
So, I tried sometimes to.
Funny story. Yeah. I never heard about this. This is my first time that someone told me about that.
Sometimes you just need to, I don't know, talk to some.
Just knock the doors of the federations.
Football federation. Yeah, just try. I talked to a few, and not very successful conversations, but I just tried,
You never know. That's what I learned from this podcast. You never know. So you need to try it.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets as well about shirts that you give it to somebody or that you sold? Never.
Given away? Absolutely no, because I gave away either like presents, so I'm happy to buy something and give it away, or maybe shirts that, I don't know, let's say that I've got enough shirts of that team, and maybe that shirt I don't really care about. Or sometimes you actually have the exact same shirts, so you just give it away. So no, I'm selfish. Regrets. Just keep everything from no regrets. Nope.
That's very good. Well, you told me already like a couple of very good stories about like with you and your soccer shirts. Do you have any like the top one? Like the best
I've got another one. Yeah, I've got another one that
Tell me this one. I want to listen
many times. Yeah, so that's when I got my Maldives shirts. Okay, so that was great. So I arrived in the Maldives, in the capital, Male.
Yeah.
And the Maldives, even though it's a very small country, even though they've got like 1,000 like islands or something, but they even have a football league. Okay, actually, I think they've got 2 or 3, 10 teams. Anyway, so they have an internal like football league, and of course they've got a national team. So I went to the stadium the first day in Male, the capital of the Maldives, which is an actual city. You have buildings and everything. It's a normal city. And looking for a football shirt, thinking, come on, it's impossible. I couldn't even find a shirt in Armenia. I'm not going to find it here in the Maldives. It's going to be impossible. So I went to the stadium, absolutely nothing, very small stadium. All right. So, and then I saw this cleaner, literally, it was cleaning, I don't know, something, the floor. So I just walk up to him and I said, do you sell football shirts here? And he said, no, it's closed, just go. I said, look, I just want to buy a football shirt here. If you sell it, I'm just asking. No, it's closed. Okay, because I see maybe here. And then he just looked at me and he said, do you have 20 euros, about 20 euros in the local currency? And I said, yes, I do. Here you go, take the 20 euros. And he said, come with me. He opened the door of the actual dressing room of the national team with all the shirts still hangs, on the hangers, ready for the players. He looked at me, he said, take one shirt and get the out of here. So I literally stole one football shirt from the Maldives national dressing room. So I don't apologize. I was very happy to get it. So yes, that was a cool story. I was very happy.
So
bribing my cleaner to get a shirt. Yeah.
Could you imagine the national team arriving, getting ready for the match and everything, and it's one of the players, hey, have you seen my jersey? I haven't found it. I don't know what is it.
I was very discreet and good. I got one of the spare ones, one of the spare ones in the bag. Yeah. So it was that's it.
So funny. Very good good anecdote. Well, Antonio, we arrived to my favorite part of the podcast. Is the surprise sections. It's just two different sections. One of them, I'm just gonna tell you some names, and you can just say the first word that comes to your mind, or could be expression or whatever you got.
Yeah. Question: Can you swear?
Yeah, of course you can swear.
Okay.
Easy.
Fuck it, great. All right.
Okay. If I say Mourinho, which is the first word that comes to your mind?
Mourinho, triplete.
The triplete.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my head, really, just because I've heard it so many times. The thing is that it's such a thing that such a big thing that Inter fans will say that every time, but also other teams, fans of other teams, that will just say that also because they just they don't like Inter that won the triplete, so Champions League, the league, and the national cup and everything. So that's what I think about. Yeah.
Okay.
Easy. That was easy.
Canu.
Well, first heart problems because he had heart problems. Yeah. He had to leave Inter because of heart problems. But I just remember him being so slow. He was so slow. He was unbelievably slow. But he was somehow very elegant and good.
Yeah,
I don't know. He was scoring goals. His movements as well, were very good, even though he was so slow. I don't know. It was unique. Yeah.
Okay. What about Redknapp?
Redknapp?
Yeah, Redknapp.
Which one? Jamie
the
or
coach.
Harry?
The coach, Harry.
Harry Redknapp. Of course, you think about Portsmouth, fantastic years, but he's had a bit of a turnaround. When he left Portsmouth, he went to Spurs, Tottenham, and then he took loads of Portsmouth players
to Spurs.
To Spurs. So a bit of a Judas, That's what they say. Yes, you were hero and everything, and then you went to another team and you just take everything that we had, with you.
And he has that legacy as well. In multiple teams, he moved to another one and started to bring like, oh, I know this, and they just signed it same that he used playing with another team. Harry. Oh, Harry. What about Milito?
Milito. Oh, again, Milito was one of my favorite like players. I think he's just a striker. It's just, I think, the perfect description of a striker. A striker, that's what he wanted to do every time he had the ball. He wanted to score goals. That and within like the box, he was just, lethal.
Dangerous.
He was, yes, and he was not amazing. He was not that skillful. He wasn't even that beautiful to watch, but he was so efficient, dangerous. He was definitely one of my favorite players, regardless, of the Inter like days and everything. Even when he was playing like for Genoa, when he was playing in Spain for Zaragoza, and
he
so
was incredible. He was as well in Racing in Argentina, and he has like a lot of goals there.
Yes, I think Milito he arrived to like a big team before like Inter, like a couple of years before Inter, his career could have been much better. Nobody believed in him. Nobody believed in him. He was scoring loads of goals, and nobody believed in him until he got to Inter, basically.
Yeah, and those was the years that Inter was buying like just the best striker of the previous Serie A for like Pandev, like Goran Pandev or Diego Milito. Like it was just like trying to catch something to make the project bigger. And look at the boy, that very nice one with Diego Milito at the end. What do you think about Balotelli?
Balotelli, I'm gonna say something extremely controversial here. Extremely. I think potentially, let's add this word, potentially, he is still the best striker that Italy has. Striker, pure striker. Potentially, he's still the best. I do not rate any of the strikers we Italy has, let's say. And potentially, he's got everything. He's strong. He's
fast.
He's got everything. Right foot, left foot. He can take penalties, free kicks, everything.
He was very good.
Unfortunately, he's again, I don't know him personally, so I'm sure he's fine. But somehow he managed to argue with managers, didn't get along with I don't know, a specific city or team and everything. But potentially, I think he's just still nowadays, and he's old now because he's 32, 30, almost 33. So potentially still like the best striker that Italy has. No striker that we have had his quality. Maybe he cannot demonstrate it because he cannot like put them like on the pitch, but potentially still like the best. And definitely watching him in general as a player, it's very entertaining.
Yeah, and I remember he was one of the first like super young superstars that arrived to the world, like the explosion that he has in Inter Milan was like in a moment, boom, and then everyone wants to have him and put like a lot of pressure on him, not just for where he was playing. It was more of like excitement for finally this striker from Italy, super powerful, like in not just the body, in, as you say, like left leg, but also the right one. The header, super killer, but that has finished. Unlucky for Mario. And what do you think about Mancini?
Very good. Like I don't really blame him for not qualifying to the World Cup. It's like 2 years before, 1 year before, he was like the national hero and everything. I think he's done a lot in every single team that he managed. Like he started with Fiorentina, and they were in terrible financial in a terrible financial situations and everything, and he managed to do well there. Did well with Lazio. He won with Inter. He won the first title with Man City.
Yeah,
There's so many years. Then he went to Russia. You're right there, and what he did with Italy, I think it was simply amazing. Like, again, I think the real Italy is what we have right now, not qualifying unfortunately for the World Cup. But what he did with the same team was just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very good. It was very surprised that Italy came back from nothing to win the World Cup, the Euro Cup.
Yeah.
And now not qualifying to the World
Yeah.
Cup. It was like
yeah. It's like I don't know. It's the Matrix. The Matrix, the film.
Yeah.
It was like a bug in the Matrix. You know what I mean? It was so it was so incredible. It was like a bug in the Matrix. You have a team that was just terrible, and then they become like European champions, and then they just go back. It's like a bug in the Matrix.
Yeah, and everyone was like waiting for that game for qualification against Italy, against Portugal, because Italy was against North Macedonia for the playoffs, and what a surprise happened. Everyone was like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, but fully deserved. Fully deserved. Like, they fully deserve to lose.
Yeah. Well, now, Antonio, we arrived to the last part of the podcast.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you just hypothetical stuff, and then you have to choose just between one or the other one.
All right.
Let's start with this. We were talking about the Euro Cup and no qualification to the World Cup. Would you prefer not win the Euro Cup but qualify to the World Cup, or you still prefer as it is won the World Cup? I won the Euro Cup, and that's it.
Give me the title, and then let's worry about it. Yeah, give me the title, 100%.
Okay. You say as well that, well, you've been traveling around the world and you've seen like a lot of competitions. Would you prefer the Libertadores Cup? Would you prefer the Champions League, or you prefer the Champions League from Asia?
Okay. What, to watch, you mean, or to win?
To watch, to win, to everything.
Oh, to watch, I've got to say Libertadores. But Libertadores to watch at the stadium.
In the stadium, yeah.
Yes, like literally there with the players and everything was there. Yes, that's what I prefer. To win probably the Champions League. I'm sorry about the Asian Champions League, but I can't really think of anything. But it's very interesting. Like there, I would just like to watch it, also to watch it, but with a different, I don't know, perspective, just curiosity. It's completely different. Yeah.
Cool. By the way, I've been in the Champions League, in the Asian Champions League. I watched here Melbourne City against I think it was a Japanese team.
Same. I watched in China. Yeah,
very cool, because like they try to make the vibes. Obviously, it's a different competition and level, but they try to do it. So it's very cool to have it. Which defender do you prefer more? Right, for your team, do you prefer Sol Campbell or do you prefer Paolo Maldini?
I'm sorry, Portsmouth fans. I mean, I'm pretty sure they understand it. I don't think here there's just next. Like it's
not the point.
You cannot compare it. Like yeah. It's just no. It's of course it's Maldini. Yeah. Can't even compare the two. Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Okay. Do you remember, like in some years in Portsmouth, they have a very like curious team, right? And I really like two strikers that they had all those years. But I wanted that you choose which of the other ones you prefer. Do you prefer Lua or Jakubu?
Well, I think people will remember I think Portsmouth, like they remember them as very good strikers, like both of them. But Jakubu was in one season was just amazing,
on fire.
So yeah. I will have to go with Jakubu. Yeah.
Okay. And in Inter as well, it was like in a season that it was like just crazy, the strikers that they have, but two of them like was like just boom in the middle of nowhere. Do you prefer to continue with Martins? Do you remember Obafemi Martins or Adriano?
Um, they were playing together. Remember, Adriano
Yeah.
and Martins. Yeah. Then for different reasons, they left Inter for different reasons. Martins was sold to Newcastle, I think, but I don't think he really I don't know. I think he had already reached his like
Top.
peak.
Mhm.
Yes. Adriano had so much potential. He was amazing, again, strong, everything, powerful, but he had some personal, let's say, issues with everything else other than football, family, and so on. But I will definitely go for Adriano.
Yeah, a very big player. One of the
Huge.
he could be one of the best players ever if he
Yeah.
continue with the level that he was in the Inter. He was
Yeah.
facing a moment.
Then when he left Inter, he just never
Nothing come back.
came back to no.
Yeah, sadly. Well, you have like very two strong rivals as well. Obviously AC Milan, but Southampton as well is very important team in England. Which do you reckon is like most like the hardest of them? Like
But
most of the like talking about like team wise, but also like fanatics, etc.
Oh, well, of course, like first you need to remember, like in Milan, of course, it's a city where you have two different teams. So,
Yeah.
but people are in the same city. Portsmouth and Southampton are two different cities. They're very near, in 30 minutes you're in Southampton or Portsmouth, but still they're separated.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a natural barrier. So maybe you don't see that every day, but in Milan, of course, you go to drink coffee or your friends, and they all talk about Milan,
The other
Inter,
one.
and so on. But the rivalry, even though it's very big, both like factions, they're very respectful.
Okay.
Yes, they joke about each other, they mock each other. If Inter wins, the next day they're just gonna, take the piss out of Milan fans and vice versa, and so on. But in England or Portsmouth, like Southampton, things could get quite like nasty. We're talking about proper like fights and everything. Like in Milan, it's very, very rare to have like proper fights. They joke, they just tease each other, they just shout horrible things at each other, but never gets
That's
nasty.
it.
Portsmouth and Southampton, he can get very nasty. Yeah.
So you have to choose which is gonna be like for you the team. Like
sorry, I forgot.
Even like you know what? Which one of them? If like Inter doesn't exist and Portsmouth doesn't exist, but you have to choose between them, which one would you choose? You prefer going like for a Milan fan or a Southampton?
I will go for Southampton, just because it's so intense. Also, like it doesn't happen every day. Every year, because now they're in different leagues.
Yeah, exactly.
So the derby, it's something special now.
Yeah, of course.
It's just one game that you've got to win. So yeah.
Nice. And well, you've been like for a really long time in England, and I think that you start to have like feelings about the Three Lions. So if it's a match England against Italy, which one would you go for?
It happens 3 times over the last 10 years, I think, or 4 times. Maybe once was a friendly, I don't know. Yeah, Italy. I'm sorry.
You're gonna continue with Italy.
Yeah. I was born there and everything. So yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Probably if you stay there for another 10 years, you might change this answer. But now we keep with Italy.
Yeah. Okay.
Azzurri.
Ask me in 10 years, mate. Like, ask me in 10 years. Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Awesome. Well, Antonio, we this is the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for having you here. It was a pleasure to meet you, to listen all your stories, and I really hope that all you estancia in Mexico being like amazing, and you chase like a lot of soccer jerseys that there are crazy and very beautiful. So yeah, just remind us how can we find you in social medias? And yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, thank you, Juan. It's been a pleasure. Always happy to talk about football shirts, travels, and random stories. So thank you so much for having me here with you. You can talk to me on 365 football shirts. So number 365 football, as in football, shirts as in SHIRTS. And yeah, feel free to message me if you want me to do something, if you have some ideas of any potential future plans, that I could do with football shirts and everything. And if you guys are in Mexico, just hit me up.
Awesome. Also, Antonio can speak in Spanish, so you can just even reply him in Spanish. It's fine.
Amigos,
porque él puede hablarlo.
Sí, claro, si quiere hablar en español, no hay problema, vamos a hablar en español. Si tienen como preguntas, quiere preguntar algo, decirme algo, otras cosas, estoy aquí, no hay problema, hablamos en todos los idiomas.
Excelente. Antonio, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming by, and good luck in your next project. You know that I'm going to be there for you all the time. You're welcome whatever time you want to come as well. So
cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to all the people that is watching this podcast right now. Remember to give it a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, etc. See you next time. Bye-bye.